बोले श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। शंकर भगवान महाराज की जय। My dear blessed devotees, relatives, friends, neighbors, colleagues, associates of this family, this evening I welcome all of you to the home of Auntie Lali and Mickey, and by extension our dear daughter Lisa. We've come this evening to join with the family in a brief moment of expression of love. I like to look at gatherings like these as expressions of love, as expressions of thoughtfulness, kindness, and above all, as expressions of understanding for the grief and the loss of that family who so have lost their loved ones. This evening, we are live on the World Wide Web, and let me welcome those who will join us on the Krishnam Pavan Puta Vidalaya page, that's Bramanand, where this evening we are at the home of Auntie Lali and Mickey, and we have come to join with them this evening. For those of you who follow me every morning at 4:45 a.m., you will always remember seeing a name, Lisa Rambachan. And you will always hear me draw reference, Lisa Rambachan in Guyana, always asking her, how is your morning in Guyana? And through Lisa, many other people in Guyana have joined us on the Krishnam page on a morning. So this evening, I'm very pleased and very happy to see all of you here, knowing that today Lisa returned to Trinidad after a very lengthy undertaking by her mother and her brother and Kavita, a dear friend. And so, by the grace of God, despite all the obstacles and everything else, over the past 3 weeks, we have come to this point where we work towards it tomorrow to arrive at an appointed time for the Ante Shri Shraddha, the final ceremony that we'll do in the yard here. I want to begin this evening, before I begin to offer prayers, by saying to all of you, I want to commend all those of you who continuously came every evening at the home here, kept company with one another, and kept Auntie Lali's home alive, that it was never closed. For those of you who kept the diya lighting and attended to the diya, I compliment you for that, especially the younger ones, for your understanding of the rites and rituals that are essential for this process. But let me say this to you, in Hinduism, there is always a time factor. A time factor. When someone dies, we are under the constraints of within 48 to 72 hours to so do the rites and rituals in the particular way that we are accustomed doing it. In the observance of the 10 days, in the observance of offering the tarpan every morning, offering the pinda every morning, and then on the 13th day, on the 10th day, having what is called the shaving ceremony, the dasdat ceremony, the shaving ceremony. And then on the 13th day or the 12 days, depending on the personality of the person, we have what is called the Ante Shri Shraddha, this Bhandara as we refer to it. It's really a Shraddha. A Shraddha in which we welcome the villagers, we offer prayer to Lord Vishnu, we celebrate the presence of Lord Vishnu, and we commend the deceased at that moment back to Godhead through the ceremony that we do. We make offerings to the earth, we make offerings to the air, we make offerings to the waters, we make offerings to life forms, the higher life forms and the lower life forms. And then we also make offerings to Lord Krishna in the name of the deceased and in the name of all the ancestors. So at all times, you must understand this, as Hindus, we have a responsibility to guide and to commit and to recommit the one who was deceased, to guide the elemental state of the individual. At no time should you believe or let anyone allow you to believe that as Hindus we worship the dead. We never do that. We honor the memory of the deceased, and all our ceremonies are geared towards honoring the memory of the deceased, honoring the life of the deceased. We believe in Karma Yoga. We believe in asking the Lord to so bless the deceased because of the quality and the nature of life that they have lived. This is why we do the pujas that we do. And this is why we worship the Param Brahma, the Father, the Son and the Spirit, which is called the Param Brahma. And we ask them to accept that individual who we refer to Lisa as Lisa, to accept her Atma, her soul, back to the Godhead. But then we have a responsibility to the body. And this is what we must understand. We have a responsibility to the body. And this is why we take the time to return the body. In some religion they say, dust to dust, ash to ash. In Hinduism, we recommit the elements of the body back to nature. All of you sitting here, how did you get this body? How did you get this body? What is this body made of? You must ask yourself. Then you will understand that Hinduism is a science. It's a science of life. It's a science of how life is created, the genesis of life and the origination of life. The origination of this body. Think of your own bodies. And then you will understand when I tell you, through procreation and copulation of your parents, they so brought their energies together in the creation of a body that was infused the moment the spermatoes met. And when that spark of life came there, that was the Atma that infused life at that moment. So we have a responsibility to return to nature, because all of us, we have come from nature. All of us have gotten our energies to format this body out of nature. We eat food, we drink water, we breathe the air. All these different things that creates energy. And the human body at the time of a death, the human body is a manifestation of the energy of nature. And this is why we have to pay respect to nature and pay respect to the body. And then, in so doing the rites and rituals, we return all the elements. From the moment of the cremation, we return all the elements back to nature. We return the body's energy from whence it has come. And in so doing, it regenerates itself through nature to create life again, to create energy, to create matter. and to format new life and to format new existence. So this is what we call the Anteshri Shraddha. It's a science of life. It's a science of life that if you understand it carefully, you will understand our responsibility to recommit the continuance of life, to take the body of Sri Lisa Ji and to commit it back once more to Nitya, and then in 11.5 months to reformat that element so it will get into the system of Nitya and reformat itself through Nitya and come back in the form of energy that the human beings will so once more inherit in the formation of life. So this evening, let me say this to you. I said a short while ago that there is a time factor in which these ceremonies are to be performed. Unfortunately, because of all the regulations in Guyana and everything else, Auntie Lali and Mickey and others were not able to quickly bring Lisa back home for this to take place. So then what do we do? What do we do if the time factor has passed? It is written in the scriptures that there is a particular ceremony which really and truly, I must admit, while I know of it, it's not often I have the opportunity to do this ceremony as it is so required. This ceremony is called Narayan Bali Shraddha. Narayan Bali Shraddha. And to do this, the day after the funeral, we have 3 days, which is called Dud Mudhi. On the 4th day after the funeral ceremony, this Shraddha is to be done. And in this Shraddha, we have to pay respect to the 10 days ceremony. So in that puja, we will offer 10 pinda for that, in honoring the 10 days. And then we have to offer 17 other pindas for different reasons and different purposes. That will bring completeness and fulfillment when I read the Purush Sukta over all that. And then do the Gita Path Puja. So this funeral is not a simple funeral. When the funeral date is announced tomorrow, the funeral ceremony will be arranged, and I will so instruct as to how the funeral ceremony is to be unfolded. So I want all of you who are here this evening, close relatives and friends of Auntie Lali and Mickey and the family, I want you to understand that conditions and circumstances requires that I do a ceremony which is of a much higher level of spiritual undertakings. With these words, I ask you all to give thanks to God for the life we have this moment. I ask you all to give thanks to God for the fact that we can sit as a family. We are no longer neighbors. We are no longer strangers. We are no longer work colleagues. When we sit in this, we now become one singular family. The children of God. The children of God. And we have so come this evening as the children of God to bring peace, to ask God to bless us all as we give thanks to the life of Lisa, but as we, you and I, all of us here, as we give thanks to God the life that we have this moment. I want to ask all to please stand. Come, son. You have to light this diya for me and pass the arti over your sister's pitya 3 times, and then take your hand and pass your hand over the flame and fan it to the pitya. Hari Om Sri Pitru Ganaya Vidmahe Jagat Dharani Dhimahi Tanno Pitru Prachodayat. Pitru Ganaya Vidmahe Jagat Dharani Dhimahi Tanno Pitru Prachodayat. Tanno Pitru Prachodayat. Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnur Mangalam Gajapundadikasham Mangalaye Sri Tano Harihi Om. Everyone repeat with me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhyo Namo Namaha. O Lord, beautiful Lord, Master of this world and creation, friend of the poor, friend of the weak, friend of the meek, friend of the humble, Master of all. This moment we pray, in life or in death, in joy or in sorrow, in pleasure or in pain, O Lord, we commit ourselves to thy feet. Everyone. Ram Naam Satya hai, yahi ko gat hai. Ram Naam Satya hai, yahi ko gat hai. Ram Naam Satya hai, yahi ko gat hai. All repeat after me. Om Sri Atma Sadgati. Once more. Om Sri Atma Sadgati. Once more. Om Sri Atma Sadgati. O Lord, by our prayer this moment, Atma Sadgati, we ask you through our prayer to allow us to commit the Atma of Srimati Lisa Leela Rampasa through my prayer now at your divine feet. Om Govindaya Namaha. Sab koi Jai Jai. Please sit everyone. Thank you. Now I ask all to please join your hands together. Let me sing a beautiful chant of peace, a beautiful chant of happiness. Let me praise the universe. Let me praise the Lord. Let me ask you to so do with me. Hari Om. I'm quite sure all of you will know this. And even if you don't know it, please still sing it with me. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Hurry everyone. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Radharaman Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Sri Radharaman Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Radharaman Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Sri Radharaman Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. He Nat Narayan Vasudeva. He Nat Narayan Vasudeva. He Nat Narayan Vasudeva. Hari He Nat Narayan Vasudeva. Sab go. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Radharaman Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Sri Radharaman Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Bole Sri Radha Krishna Chandra Maharaj ki Jai. My dear devotees, I want to ask all of you this moment. Before I chant this verse from the Bhagavad Gita and explain it to all of you, I want to ask all of you this. How do you serve God? Sit here and think. The very intelligent people sitting here whom I know. When I look at your faces, I can tell how intelligent and the level of intelligence that you have. And I ask you to ponder carefully. How do you serve God? And then you will ask me why I am asking you this question. How do you serve God? Let me tell you this. In Hinduism, life and death. Listen carefully, all of you. In Hinduism, life and death, it is coeval with one another. So always give the elderly a chance to settle themselves. Sometimes they are uncertain of where they are going. You know? So I'm saying to all of you, life and death are coeval with each other. Bhagavan Krishna tells us, for that which is born, nainam chindanti sastrani nainam dahati pavaka, na kainam klerayanti apona shoshayati maruta. For that which is born, this body, death is certain. For that which has for that which is born, death is certain. For that which has died, rebirth is certain. The Lord so promises to us this. What is He promising? He is promising life. He is promising life. If He says, for that which is born, death is certain, and then if He says, for that which has died, rebirth is certain, what is He promising? He is telling you, there is no need to lament. There is no need to cry. But there is a need to celebrate the continuity of life in the concept of rebirth. So all of us here, sitting here this evening, every one of us, we are living testimony to the fact that the principle of rebirth, according to Bhagavad Gita, nainam chindanti sastrani nainam dahati pavaka, na kainam klerayanti apona shoshayati marutah, vyasamsi jirnani tavijjaha navani granati naroparani tatasaryani vijjaha jirnani samyati anyati navani dehi. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. People say death comes unannounced. Hinduism teaches us that you never die. You never die. You simply undergo a process of change. And what we refer to as death is a process of change that can elevate us to a different dimension of existence based on how we live. Based on how we live. See, if you understand your religion like this, you will have no doubts in your mind. You will have no doubts in your mind. So this evening, I'm saying to you, to me, death is a celebration, not of grief. I always tell people this. Death is a celebration, not of grief. But death is a celebration of life's continuity at a different level of existence. A different level of existence. The great Swami Chinmayananda, he said that at that appointed time, what we refer to as death, it is a springboard that rockets you into a higher dimension of existence. And that higher dimension of existence is what we call moksha, where you attain oneness with God. Because while you are still in this human body, you have to attain the oneness of the Lord. You have to have that relationship with God. You have to build that relationship with God. You have to create that relationship with God. This is what we don't do. We don't do this. We create relationships with so many things. We create relationships with so many wrong things that draws us away from the Master, draws us away from the Maker, and keeps us away from the Maker because we have become so preoccupied in ourselves that we become so attached to the worldly existence, that we forget that the Lord created this world. Listen to my words carefully now. The Lord created this world. And the Lord created us as His children. And He says, I send you forth. I send you forth. Go onto the world and enjoy what I have created. Yes, He gave us this earth. He gave us this body. He gave us this life. Because I am your father, I am your mother, I am your friend, I am your companion, I am everything indeed to you. So He says, I, because of my love for you, I have created you, and I have sent you and placed you there to enjoy the dimensions of my creation. But you know what happens? We become so intoxicated with this material world. We become so intoxicated with the Maya world, and we commit the worst sin that we can ever commit. There's only one sin, you know. I always preach this. There is only one sin. And when you commit that sin, then you do everything against the injunctions of life. These fellows who take gun and kill people all about, assassinate people all about, that is the lifestyle. But do you think that they don't know that that is not the lifestyle they should have? Similarly, people, when you forget God, then you assume dimensions that are not in proportion with what you really are. What you really are. This is why I say to you this evening, the most cardinal sin that you can ever perform for anyone is forgetfulness of God. Think of what I'm saying to you. Forgetfulness of God. And if you so put your life on a path of forgetfulness of God, then you do the greatest disservice to yourself. The greatest disservice to yourself. Because you have a mind and an intellect to think, to understand and to function. So the Lord tells us this. This is what I want to say to all of you this evening. The Lord tells us this. The Lord, He says in the Bhagavad Gita, please join your hands together, everyone. When I say join your hands, I mean clasp your hands. Fix your mind and fix your thoughts on the beautiful Lord. Whether we call the Lord Krishna, we call the Lord Ram, we call the Lord Bahu Allah, we call her Allah, we call her Jesus Christ, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, however it is, let me tell you. To me, there is one. The universe is the Master. And the Master of the universe gives us different proportions. When we come together like this, we worship the Master Himself, which is the universe. Lift your voices with me and ask Him to bless us. Bless us with His presence in our lives daily. Bless us that we will have food and clothes and warmth and happiness in our homes and good families. Bless us that we will care and love for one another. But bless us that when we stand as a family, and when we stand as a family, let us seek to produce more than that which we wish for ourselves. Let us form a strong army as human beings to fight against the lower tendencies in ourselves. Let us produce more than we wish for ourselves and give more to others, that our cup will be so filled that it will run forth every day over and over and over, and we will always have in the palms of our hands, and that the more we share, the more we shall receive. What do we share? You share the most important thing, you know. The most important wealth that you have that you can ever share is the love of your heart. The love of your heart. People forget that. People forget that wealth. People forget how wealthy you are. I remember one morning I made a statement in the ashram and I said, you know, I'm a billionaire. I'm a billionaire. Remember that, Gil? Lali called me right away. She said, Baba, I understand you. I'm a billionaire because I have the most wealth that anyone can ever think about. And that is the wealth of my heart. The love of my heart. That is what makes me wealthy in spirit. That is what makes me wealthy. Wealthy in thoughts, wealthy in words, wealthy in deeds. Let us sing. Hari Om, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Bol. Sri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Oh, Sri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Bol. एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, जब चला जात है सारा इसी का, चला जात है सारा इसी का, कौन ठिकाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। खूब मौज कर देख तमाशा, खूब मौज कर देख तमाशा, खेलन यो क्या खेल ओ हरि, करने है सो कर ले वंदे, कर ले है सो प्रभु कर ले वंदे, फिर पछताना है सबको, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। One day you will leave and go. One day you will leave and go. But while you are here, you have to use every moment of life to take these hands and to fill your storehouse, you know, fill your storehouse. Fill your storehouse with your acts of goodness, enriching yourself with your acts of kindness, enriching yourself with the acts of love for other human beings. That you make the pain of others your pain, you make the sufferings of others your suffering, you make the sorrows of others your sorrows, and you give them your joy and replace their pains and their sorrows with your joy in this life. That is the way of life. This is why Bhagwan Krishna, he says, you know, Hari Om, Yat Karosi, Yat Anasi, Yat Jahosi Dadasi, Yat Tapasyasi Kaunteya, Tat Kurusva Mar Arpanam, Tat Kurusva Mar Arpanam, everyone. Mukunda Madhava, Govinda Bol, Keshav Madhava, Hari Hari Bol. Sab go. Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Keshav Madhava, Hari Hari Bol, Mukunda Madhava, Govinda Bol, Keshav Madhava, Hari Hari Bol. Ram Ram Bol, Ram Ram Bol, Shiva Shiva Bol, Shiva Shiva Bol, Mukunda Madhava, Govinda Bol, Keshav Madhava, Hari Hari Bol. Keshava Madhav Prabhu Hari Hari Bol. Take the Lord's name in your mouth. Chant the Lord's name at every opportunity that you can do. Instill the Lord's name on the threshold of the tip of your tongue. In this way, you will have light in the here now, and you will have light in the hereafter. For the Lord will be the boatman, the boatman to take you across this ocean of Mrityu Lok Sansar, this ocean of pain, sufferings, life, death, rebirth, all these different things. But the Lord tells you the solution to all that. And I want to say this to you now. This evening is not a very lengthy service. I just wanted to come and offer prayer. But I wanted to give a few words of advice. The words of advice I want to give you now is this. The Lord says how you should live. So that when our time comes to depart and change this body, you will understand that you have lived in the right way. You see, the Bhagavad Gita is a secret, Bhagwan Krishna, he gives to all of us the secret of how to live. The secret of how to live. The secret of how to exist. So listen to what he says. He says, Yat karosi, yaj anasi, yaj jahosi, tadasi yat. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva mar arpanam. We always speak that life must be one of service to God. And service to God, Bhagavan Krishna says, is service to mankind and service to humanity. This is what the Lord so emphasizes. Think of what I'm saying to you. I believe in a living God. I believe when I see people, I believe in the living God in everyone, because then I tell myself that I am blessed to be able to have the presence of a living God in front of me, knowing that the Lord resides in the heart of everyone. And if you believe and you ask me, how could I say that the Lord resides in the heart of anyone? I'll tell you. My Lord always shows this to me. For those of you who know the bhajan, let me sing one line. Chira ki chati bole apani pavan putra Hanuman. Bolo pavan putra Hanuman. Sab go. Mere man mein base hai Ram, mere tan mein base hai Sham. And Hanuman opened his heart. When Sita said to him, show me your Ram, she was saying, show me yourself, show me your God, show me your temple, show me where you exist. And he opened his heart, chanting the name of Ram. And in his own heart, in his own mind, in his own intellect, in his own thoughts. When we say in your heart, when we say God lives in my heart, we are speaking about God exists constantly in my mind. God exists constantly in my thought. God exists constantly in my words. God exists constantly in my actions. For my life is a dedication to the Lord. So the Lord, he says, whatever you say it in my name. He says, always think before you speak. Say good things. Say sweet things. Whatever you say it in my name. Whatever you give it in my name. But most important, he says, whatever you receive, know that you receive it in my name and my name alone, because I am the one who channels it to you. And if you were not deserving of it, I would not give it to you. So I am the one who has channeled life to you. And if you were not deserving of having this life, none of us will be sitting here this moment. Live in thankfulness, children. Live in thankfulness, the presence of God each day of your life. May God's blessings be with all of you this evening. Sab koi jai jai Sitaram. My dear devotees, I thank all of you for coming here this evening and to sit for a few moments in prayer. Tomorrow evening I will also be here. Tomorrow evening I want to chant one katha to Hanuman. All bhaktas of Hanumanji. Lisa was a great bhakt of Hanuman. This home is a great bhakt of Hanuman. 25 years ago, what year is Hanuman? 40? More than 25 years. He couldn't be more than 17 years of age. He had a girl. His mother brought him in the mandir to do Hanuman Puja. And when I was finished doing the Hanuman Puja, he said, Bab, you think you'll come every Saturday and you will do a puja? Yeah? I said, well, I don't see why. But if I can't come on one Saturday, you will still come. And so we started one of the most powerful Hanuman Pujas in this country. That every Saturday morning in the ashram, all of us, Mickey, Gurumai, Nani, and Roma could come to visit us, and others from as far as deep South Trinidad. We have a group of about 15 people. Every Saturday morning for over 30 years now, this has been happening. This home is an integral part of Hanumanji. Lisa was a great bhakt of Hanumanji. Great bhakt of Hanumanji. So tomorrow evening, in her honor and in her memory, I invite all of you to please come and listen to the katha of Hanuman, and then to join with us as I will sing a few verses of the Hanuman Chalisa. On behalf of Auntie Lali, I thank all of you. I really appreciate all of you being here this evening. Take a couple of moments to sit as disciplined and quietly as you all have done this evening, to listen to the very words that I so share with you. Closing, we stand. Let me offer a final word of prayer, everyone. For those of you who know this chant, it's called a chant. For those of you who know it, please don't hesitate to sing it aloud with me. Sri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jai Ram Sita Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. See, I am one Pandit. I like to hear everybody's voice. Very clear and distinct. Let me hear everyone. Sri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jai Ram Sita Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Sabko Raghupati Raghav Raja Rama Patita Pavane Sita Rama Jai Ram Sita Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Nirmal Mane Jan So Mohi Pava Mohi Kapat Chal Chidra Nabhava Namak Mataru Kal Karala Sumirat Samana Sakal Jag Jala. Sabgo Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jai Rama Sita Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jai Rama Sita Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Siyawara Ramachandra ki Jai. Blessed devotees, for those of you viewing me live on the L.C. Mandir's Facebook page, Krishnam, I want to thank you for joining us here on the home of Auntie Lali and Mickey. This evening, this service was conducted together with all the villagers who are here. Give them a picture of all the villagers, son. With all the villagers who are here and the neighbors and relatives and so on who are here, who have come this evening to honor the memory of Srimati Leela Lisa Ramprasad. Someone who was loved by so many, someone who did so many things and have always done so many things to bring happiness to children way off in Maruga, in the back of these depressed areas. Someone who always had a heart of kindness and a heart of gold. A child who I knew in her mother's womb, a child that I always say was virtually born in my hand, herself and her brother. Today, Guruma and I who are here, we have also lost a child. Lisa was not just a godchild, you know. Lisa was a daughter to us. Lisa grew up with us. And we have lost a daughter. We have lost a daughter. But God has blessed us. And by the grace of the Lord, I always believe the Lord knows what He is doing. One day, at the appropriate time, the home will have another daughter whose presence is already here. And we will so comfort that and comfort that. God bless the memory of Sri Lisa Leela Ramprasad and her life. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. My dear devotees, before you take your seats, with your hands clasped, let me sing one verse of this, and I ask you to turn to one another in an expression of love and an expression of respect for your life and the life of every one of us. Hinduism teaches us to respect the life of all in love. Let us share our love with one another by saying Sitaram. To everyone, with hands clasped, to turn to each other and say Sitaram. Sitaram Govinda Radhe Gopal, Ram Govinda Radhe Gopal, Radhe Gopal Hari Radhe Gopal, Radhe Gopal Hari Radhe Gopal. Sab go. Ram Govinda Radhe Gopal, Ram Govinda Radhe Gopal, Ram Govinda Radhe Gopal. नासे रोग हरि सो पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान चुरावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस की राजा तिनके कारण सकल तुम साज और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सो यमित जीवन पल पावे चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्धा जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निखंडन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दिन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे जन्म जन्म के दुख विसरावे अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाहि जहां जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्त न धरहि हनुमत से सर्व सुख करहि संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा. Everyone, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई जो सद बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह परे हनुमान चालीसा हो ये सिद्धि साकी गौरी सा. Take your name. ब्रह्मानंद सदा हरि चीरे. I ब्रह्मानंद I am asking. ब्रह्मानंद सदा हरि चीरे की जय नाथ हृदय महाधीरा. सबको पवन तनय संकट हर नम मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसह सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम नाथ मम संकट हरि ओम नमः शिवाय एवरीवन ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर महादेव की जय सबको जय जय God bless you all. Please take your seats. Thank you all very much. I look forward to all of you joining me tomorrow evening in Hanuman Katha. To all those of you who are viewing me, I invite you to join me 4:45 a.m. tomorrow morning for a special Katha, special dedication tomorrow morning in honor and memory of Srimati Lisa Veela Rambachan. God bless you all. Sitaram.